headspace that I'm in now is way better than what I was before, and that's the only thing that mattered to me.
You know, he's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out, and the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
All-time great heavyweights, all right? And it shouldn't be. But he's sparring the heavyweight, the level of heavyweight that, you know, had more experience than Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul has beaten those heavyweights himself, all right?
Gervonta Tank Davis didn't mince words on the Joe Rogan Experience, firing a chilling warning shot at Jake Paul just weeks before their anticipated clash. Sitting across from Rogan, Tank's demeanor was ice cold, his tone razor sharp. He made it clear this wasn't going to be a circus act or a YouTube show fight. "This ain't entertainment no more," Davis said firmly. "This is personal." His statement carried the kind of conviction that only real fighters understand, an unspoken promise that blood, not talk, will settle the score. Rogan pushed for details, and Davis didn't hesitate to make it known that Jake had stepped into a storm he might not be ready for.
That now it's just like, I don't know, probably this was a good thing, us fighting. Because you have someone that, we come from two different sides, like, of the world. We still on the same path to get the same thing. You know, I gotta be in there with him. I gotta be able to, you know, his arm reach, his size, his power, the way he moving and things like that. I just gotta adapt as I fight him. I think it's gonna be a great event. Every time I fight, it's fireworks. Boxing wins come November the 14th. We just giving boxing what it needs, and that's excitement.
For Davis, this fight isn't just another payday, it's redemption. Ever since his controversial draw with Lamont Roach Jr. in March 2025, critics have questioned whether Tank's dominance had begun to slip. For the first time in his career, he tasted the bitter feeling of uncertainty. Now, facing Jake Paul, Davis views this bout as his chance to re-establish his reputation as one of boxing's elite. He's fighting not only to win but to remind the world of his legacy, a legacy built in blood, precision, and discipline. Even if the bout isn't under a traditional sanctioning body, to Davis, this isn't an exhibition, it's an execution.
Happy with Tank. First off, don't watch Tank. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You support it, then what you doing? You can't not support and support at the same time, right? So if you're a boxing purist, then this fight with Roach is really more for you. It's going to be more up your alley, you know? If you just like all entertainment, all fights, all hypes, all everything, then you're gonna want to tune in to the Tank and Paul show there, you know, because that's all for entertainment. What's it say? For entertainment purposes only, right? It's just say like somewhere in the small print of the promotion. For entertainment, don't do this at home, kids. You know, so fine.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. For entertainment purposes only, you know. So, you know, it's money-making purposes only, you know.
Jake Paul, on the other hand, has openly admitted that Gervonta Davis represents the toughest challenge of his career. Despite being the bigger man with superior reach and size, Paul knows that Tank brings world-class experience that no sparring session can replicate. He's a top 10 pound-for-pound fighter, Jake said in an interview. To beat him, I've got to be more focused than ever. For once, Jake's tone wasn't cocky, it was serious. He recognized that this fight would demand something beyond his physical strength. It would test his heart, his composure, and whether his boxing transformation was genuine or just a well-funded illusion.
Do a fight that I've actually ever been, because I know how good these people are that I'm sparring, and being able to see how good they are and knowing how good Tank is, it's actually going to be my toughest test to date.
Yeah, I think, Jake, you could make the argument, right? Pound for pound wise, this guy's the most ferocious dude in the whole sport, couldn't you?
For sure. I think he has probably one of the highest knockout percentages.
Yeah, 90-something%, right?
Exactly. And just his speed, his elusiveness, his ring IQ, his conditioning. You know, he's gone 12 rounds so many different times, something that I've never even done. So he's going to be sharp all the way through. I mean, the list goes on. And so, just actually being vulnerable for a second. It's like, this is crazy. This is scary. It's kind of keeping me up at night.
Jake, how do you prepare for, like you said, a guy who is shorter than you? How do you find a sparring opponent to replicate something that obviously, there's nobody else out there that's Tank Davis? How do you prepare for a guy that's different stature-wise?
Yeah, no, we have world champions. Raymond Ford in the 130-pound weight class. We got Montana Lovin. Shakur Stevenson is coming in this week. So
wow.
Just sparring against guys on their level and people who have, been doing this their whole entire lives. But we're really focusing on speed and not as much on power. I'm not doing as much like weightlifting and all of that stuff. I'm actually trying to like lose some muscle so that I have less weight and so that my punches are...
Jake's rise through the ranks has been anything but ordinary. From viral knockouts to crossover spectacles, he's blurred the line between athlete and entertainer. But facing Gervonta Davis is different. This isn't a retired MMA fighter or an aging boxer, this is a current world champion. A win here would completely reshape how the boxing world views Jake Paul. The $50 million purse attached to the fight only amplifies the magnitude of the event. It's more than a contest, it's a collision of two realities, boxing's old guard versus its modern media machine.
We're getting Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. What can you tell me about that? What can you tell me about why Jake and Anthony has maybe been put to the side for now?
Yeah, they always told us that it was, we were looking at that fight for February of next year, and they always said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then. But I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept, and that's what that is. It's a freak show, it's entertainment, it's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, with, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round. I don't know what it is, but I understand the market and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. However you want to be involved with it is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers.
In preparation, Jake Paul made a stunning move that sent shockwaves through the boxing community. He brought in Shakur Stevenson to join his training camp. A 3-division world champion, Stevenson is known for his surgical precision, defensive mastery, and ring IQ. Sources close to the camp revealed that Stevenson isn't there to trade power but to refine Jake's timing, positioning, and movement. He's not trying to outmuscle Davis, a camp insider said. He's trying to outthink him. For Jake, this partnership could be the smartest play of his career or a desperate gamble.
Sparring, we got some great guys coming in, some really experienced southpaws that are smaller. I think Montana Love is coming in. Shakur Stevenson wants to come in. Jermaine Ortiz. We're gonna hit up Erickson Lubin, some of these guys. So we're just gonna bring in a plethora of fighters that are fast, quick.
Despite the secrecy surrounding training camps, a few details have leaked. Davis's team has raised concerns about the fight setup, particularly the use of 12-ounce gloves, unusual for a high-stakes contest, and the exhibition format. Tank's trainer voiced frustration, arguing that the weight difference should have been addressed with smaller gloves or adjusted rounds. But the deal was already inked, 10 rounds, 3 minutes each, with identical gloves for both fighters. It's not ideal, Davis's coach said, but we'll fight under any terms. Tank's fists do the talking.
Paul versus Tank fight is getting really weird. Gervonta looks scared for his life because the rules are out. They're crazy. Oh, so everyone thought that the fight was at 190. Instead it's at 195, and this weight difference is scaring the life out of little Tank.
Over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190.
The next dispute comes with the gloves. Little Tank is used to fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Baby glove. This fight will be in 12. Hands might be too small. Oh, so Tank just fought in a 12 3-minute round fight against Roach.
Yes, and now he's fighting in 10 3-minute rounds, which isn't too bad. Well done, Jake.
Exhibition though, can he win?
Yes, he can actually win. It will be overlooked by 3 sanctioned judges.
So you can actually still win and knock him out.
But here's the trick. It's body punches only.
And there's a reason. That's because Tank said, look, this is a bit unfair. I don't want to punch up. I want to punch at my head height. Where does it fall?
At Jake Paul's belly. So apparently we've heard there's no knockdown rules, but aside from that, it's a pretty well-rounded fight. Oh yeah, and there's some drug testing involved.
But Jake Paul for the win.
My only concern is, you know, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights in 10s. Tank fighting 8s, so he losing 4 ounces. So my thing is, I said, they said, put Tank at 8s, put him in 10s. That makes the fight more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there because I understand. And I brought that question up to one of his hounds. They was, no, we don't want to do no mixed match. It's supposed to be an expedition. What? You know, now y'all want the wins and the loss. You know what I'm saying? All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? You know, Tank don't really care, you know? So when I brought this up, he said, dang, facts. You know what I'm saying? So, again, you know, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we...
Despite being labeled as an exhibition, the promotion is anything but casual. Netflix has secured global streaming rights, making this one of the most watched sporting events of the decade. The official poster, a Grand Theft Auto-style graphic featuring both fighters, has gone viral, and the undercard boasts legitimate world title fights, giving the event a full pay-per-view feel. Every promo, teaser, and clip adds fuel to a spectacle that already feels historic.
With fighters pretty much in their prime. But other than the size mismatch, most people are wondering why has Tank taken this fight, and those were the first questions targeted to Tank in this presser. Because usually these sorts of bouts are relegated to the latter part of your career. And for most Gervonta Davis supporters, they thought they would get the big fights next, the Shakurs. They didn't think he would be fighting Jake Paul. Although Tank tried to push it off as fans should just be happy watching the sport and hey, haters will be haters, I think that's quite unfair to the people who have been loyal supporters of him and honestly have paid his bills. He tried to compare the level of criticism he gets to the likes of Mayweather, but the difference is with his mentor Floyd, he really did fight a lot of champs in their prime. As Tank, well, not really. The most notable fight he's recently had that the people actually wanted was the Ryan Garcia fight, and the only reason he took that fight was because everything was on his terms. And other than the Ryan fight over the last couple of years, it's either been people who aren't in his weight division, which he's pulling up, or fighters ranked in the lower half of the top 10 lightweight list. The fights people have truly wanted to see just have never materialized, and simply that's why people criticize him. If the likes of Crawford never fought Spence or Usyk never fought Fury or Joshua, they would have caught the same level of flack. The reason why fighters like them are applauded is because generally they take on whatever challenge is in front of them. Tank instead, his whole career has bobbed and weaved around the most significant challenges that the people actually want to see, unless he has ever.
For Davis, this fight is personal vindication. He wants to expose what he calls Jake Paul's fabricated resume, a lineup of cherry-picked opponents with more fame than fight. He's never faced someone like me, Tank said in a training clip. For Jake, however, the motivation is financial and reputational. This is the biggest payday of his career, estimated at $50 million, but also a chance to silence critics who dismiss him as a social media creation. Both men are risking more than belts, they're risking their brands.
I'm gonna ask, what are you making for the fight?
Weird pocket watching.
A little bit here.
Like, what do you think?
50 to 100 mil.
You're closer on the first one.
Wow, that's so crazy to me.
People are saying, people are like 200. It's just like, nah. Actually, it's not like that anymore.
Former champion Sean Porter gave his take on Jake Paul's rise. Most fighters accept Jake's offers because the money's too good to refuse, Porter said. But money don't buy respect. According to Porter, Jake has mastered the business of boxing but hasn't yet earned his place in the sport's soul. He's a genius promoter, Porter continued, but beating elite fighters is how you earn your name in boxing history. This matchup, Porter argued, reflects what boxing has become, a balance between business and legacy. For Jake, this fight is about validation. For Tank, it's about proving that real skill still reigns supreme in a sport now driven by clicks and controversy.
I like when it's all said and done and when you guys go off, they go into the next man. So if y'all can make a big payday, go get that payday. The sport of boxing don't love you. And that's the problem with this sport. It's like what Jake Paul did, man, it's crazy, but people getting paid off of it.
Yeah.
So if he can call any one of y'all out and y'all can get that payday, I say go get it, baby. I'm not mad at it.
For me, and I'm not, I got I'm not mad at this move at all for Tank Davis, but I think when it comes to boxing fans, there's an essence that comes with this sport, and it's an essence that hasn't been lost, unlike other sports. For an example, with football, we come from the hitting days.
Yeah.
Can't hit nowadays, you know what I mean? So boxing hasn't lost its essence, you know? They're trying to make it safer and, you know, all those sorts of things, but there's still this pureness to boxing that really doesn't exist in sports anymore, but it's still there with boxing. I think that's why people have such a problem with this kind of move from Tank Davis.
Is it more the heart? How do you guys feel being boxers?
Man, like once you hear the numbers, I'm like, they're talking, like I don't know the official one, they're talking about like 100 mil.
Oh, damn.
Like, they're talking about these insane numbers. Like I'm gonna be like, don't take that. I'm not gonna tell another man not to take that type of check, especially for something like that. It's not on your official record. It's an exhibition. I'm not gonna lie here and act like I'm not gonna say yes to 100.
Criticism aside, curiosity is at an all-time high. Even casual fans who had long stopped watching boxing are tuning in. Jake's unpredictable, brawling style against Davis's surgical precision promises fireworks. For some, it's a freak show. For others, it's the rebirth of boxing entertainment. People don't just want skill anymore, one analyst noted. They want chaos, drama, and storylines. This fight offers all three: an unpredictable collision between pure craft and viral spectacle.
It's not a victory, unless he's landing the right jab, grab, breathe. Meanwhile, Tank is downloading, collecting timestamps. Ever see a big guy wrestle? Yeah, those first few minutes looks like a forklift, but by minute 5, forklift needs a nap. Can a forklift catch a fly? Only if the fly gets lazy. Jake's body will be open, especially after mid-fight when hands start sinking. And when the guard starts to wither away, so will the chin. Body shots don't ask permission, they collect rent. Liver! You don't need to be a heavyweight to fold a man who's exhaling. A small, sharp guy versus a taller frame, seen it 100 times. You touch torso early, you tag shoulders late. The high guard.
Commentator Wade Plemons analyzed Jake Paul's strategy from a psychological angle. Jake doesn't just fight in the ring, Wade said. He fights with narratives. From social media feuds to mind games, Paul manipulates public attention like a chess player setting traps. According to Wade, Jake lured Davis into this fight by offering everything a proud champion couldn't resist: money, exposure, and the chance to silence a loud outsider. Jake's real win, Wade concluded, isn't just the fight. It's controlling the story before it even begins.
Also, and again, Jake's only been boxing for 5, 6, 7 years now. It isn't necessarily far-fetched to try to have his own advantages when trying to fight other boxers that have been far more experienced than him, but this one's a little too much, right? This one is crazy because of the massive weight difference. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But again, as far as a sport fight is concerned, I want to make sure I make that clear. Again, this is not me hating on it, because I do think that both guys have been very upfront with what they're doing in this fight and what their goals are with these kind of events. But the narrative Jake's trying to create as if this is like proving anything for him fighting a real fighter when Gervonta is so much smaller than he is. It'll prove something in the fact that Jake is willing to put on great events, but it won't prove anything to the people that are asking him to fight a real fighter. I will say though, if Jake goes out and flatlines Gervonta, the casual audience that will say Gervonta smokes Jake completely and utterly, like it wouldn't even be close, that will change their minds a little bit. Not the people that know boxing, but the people that are going to watch this, the casual viewer that know the name Gervonta Davis and know the name Jake Paul. If he is to compete with Gervonta at all or look good in that fight, people will in some way accept that. Or they'll do the other thing where they just say the fight's rigged.
The matchup has fractured the boxing world. traditionalists call it a mockery of the sport, pointing to the exhibition label and size mismatch. But others see it as evolution, boxing's way of adapting to a new era. Supporters argue that the event introduces millions of young fans to a sport they might otherwise ignore. For Davis, it's a stage to prove that skill beats spectacle. For Jake, it's about breaking down barriers between entertainment and athletics. It's a generational divide between purists who revere the art form and fans who crave adrenaline, chaos, and accessibility.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2, not fight Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur, that he ain't gonna do him no favors, that he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean, that's against the game. Like, you know what I mean? You at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean? You owe the rematch to Lamont for the game. But you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups, you know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is kind of crazy. It is kind of corny, you know what I'm saying? If he not gonna fight Shakur, and if he's standing on it like, I'm not ever gonna fight you, I'm not doing you no favors, and all right. But then again, you know what? I don't know what them guys got going on. I don't know what they've been through personally, you know what I'm saying? But would I love to see that fight? Hell yeah, I would love to see that fight. And then number 3, you said what? You said
retirement.
The retirement. Oh, boxing. Boxing. They're around. They're around. It's always gloves around. It's on you. It's on you. I'm chilling. You all right? Yeah, get with me. I know. How you feel? Dark-skin boy. That's my man. The retirement is like he done a lot in his career, right?
The outcome could shape boxing's future. If Jake Paul wins, influencer versus pro bouts may become the new norm, lucrative, viral, and controversial. But if Gervonta Davis dominates, it will reaffirm that no amount of fame or money can substitute for years of grit, training, and technical mastery. This fight is more than a main event, it's a referendum on what boxing will become. Will it remain a noble craft rooted in legacy, or evolve into a spectacle powered by clicks, money, and fame?
The algorithm loves it, and both will watch. It's not just who wins, it's what wins. Will the entertainment value or the ring IQ come out on top? Because if Tank dominates, the meme dies. Jake Paul survives or hits it big, we see new rules are going to be written in real time. Me, you, maybe everyone at some point has been that bigger guy thinking that I'll just bully him. Jab, slip, liver shot, sent me down real nicely. Size helped until it didn't. All I'm saying is let's not dismiss something because it looks weird. Many fights get decided by the details. Feet before fists, timing before muscle, discipline before clout. Look, Tank wins if he stays Tank. He's built on patience, traps, explosive counters. That's hell for a tall guy who gets eager.
And now the question that divides fans worldwide, who you got? Tank or Jake? Drop your prediction below, because no matter what happens on fight night, one thing's certain, this isn't just a fight. It's a moment that could redefine boxing forever.